again, all you wonderful friends out there in podcast land. Well, Paul Heyman's phone is disconnected, but not as disconnected from reality as Uncle Dave Meltzer is. And can Netflix connect the fans to Raw in January? It's the sorry, wrong number edition of the Jim Cornette Experience. And joining me, of course, you've got his number. Hawaiian Brian, the podcasting lion, the king of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network, Mr. Co-host to you. He's never wrong, he's never sorry, and he got everybody's number. The great Brian Last, everybody.
Aloha, Jim. A pleasure to be here once again. That's the other one. For another fun week of wrestling talk. We have like topics galore this week.
Yeah, but and we already had notes. Notice I said you're never wrong with the numbers. I didn't say anything about the notes.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, read into it what you will. Sorry, Wrong Number was one of Mama Cornette's favorite movies. Are you an aficionado of the film noir classic that is Sorry, Wrong Number?
I am not. Tell me about it.
You have not watched this fine feature motion picture starring Barbara Stanwyck. Does that give it away? Or you've seen it, you just don't know the title?
Hence, when I said I have not seen it, I have not seen it.
Oh, come on.
You come on.
It was based on an old radio show, it wasn't an inner sanctum, but one of the radio dramas back in the golden age of radio. And this woman is an invalid. And she's in bed and she's in a swanky place. She's very swanky. She's talking like this, Barbara Stanwyck in the early 40s. And her husband goes out of town on a business trip and she's there alone, and somehow the nurse has to leave, and she is always on the telephone because she's bedridden, and she's a drama queen, and she's a hypochondriac, you can tell. And she's also probably pretty bossy, right? But since it's all her money and her husband is working for a living. But anyway, she gets on the phone. Got one of those princess phones that the big Gloria. Well, not. I guess those were the princess phones. Were the little teenage phones in the 70s.
Is this a Tony Storm writing session? What is this?
Well, let's
go, RJ. What's going on?
I'm pretty sure that RJ City would have scripted some Sorry Wrong Number into this if he'd have thought of it. She's got one of those elaborate phones that they used to have in the 40s, and she's on the phone. And she gets the lines crossed, and she hears a murder being plotted between two surly-sounding characters. And then she immediately, and this is why Mama Cornette loved it, because she remembered these days. But I've always wanted to live in the time where you could pick the phone up and just talk to the operator in person, just immediately.
Why?
Wouldn't that be cool? Because she's sitting there. Oh, operator, I've just heard the most ghastly conversation between these two horrid men planning some sort of crime. And I want you to get me that number back immediately. Well, I didn't call them. I was trying to make a phone call, and the lines were somewhat mixed up. Surely you can get to the bottom of this. I'm sorry, madam.
Oh, boy.
But unless you give me the number, I cannot connect you to your party. It was all so terribly...
Timeless Jim Cornette.
Well, it was also so terribly
You're right, it was terribly.
No, it was so terribly chic is what it was. So anyway, come to find out,
the terrible chic.
Wouldn't you know who won the pony? That the murder she was hearing plotted was her own.
Oh, wow. That's a twist.
Yes, and there's a whole thing where other people get involved, and there's an investigator and a blah, blah, blah.
What did she do? Why did she piss people off so much?
Oh, well, you see, I don't want to spoil the whole movie.
I'm not watching it. I'm not going to watch it.
Well, somebody out there is gonna. Sorry, Wrong Number with Barbara Stanwyck. Mama Cornette recommends it, like the guy on Seinfeld. What was his name? Remember the video store episode? Where Elaine fell in love with the guy that was making the pics and
what was his name? Fuck.
Come to find it, Vincent.
That's right.
It was Vincent's pics, and come to find out he was like a 14-year-old pimply-faced kid that had her bring him a gallon of vodka and a carton of cigarettes. But folks, we're gonna do some great fucking radio here today, because that's what we're doing.
Yeah. That's right.